Hi, my name is Nguyễn Thị Phương-Lan or Lan Nguyen, and my ceramic practice is called Mangosteen Ceramics. I've been doing ceramics for about 9 years and have continued to grow and develop in it. So I'm really honored to be a part of this exhibit and to share my work. Yeah, as I've grown deeper in my ceramic practice, it's been really important to me to always stay connected to community. So oftentimes I don't sell my pieces very often, but when I do, it's often because of a cause. So I've done several fundraisers for different organizations and causes that I've really cared about. Most recently, it was for the wildfires in Maui. I have a connection to Hawaii through my Zen practice and knew people from Maui and kind of organizers on the ground. And so my sort of last round of sales was all of the proceeds went towards helping with the recovery efforts there. And when I do craft fairs and things, it's always so great to meet other kind of people of color artists. I participated when I was in Seattle on a primarily Asian American artist craft fair that was put on by the organization there. And as a part of that, I donated 20% of my proceeds to the Little Saigon kind of Vietnamese community org there. So it was great to be able to be a part of it, to meet other artists, and then also, give back some monetary support to the kind of orgs on the ground that are doing such important work. Yeah, I really love how deep of a history ceramics has in many different cultures. I've been really fortunate to learn from teachers from Korea, and then most recently have traveled to Japan. As I mentioned, I have a Zen practice through Renzai Zen, and ceramics is one of our art practices. So when I did a residency at Chosenji, which is in Hawaii, where I practice ceramics. There's this idea of like you're being able to actually reach enlightenment through pottery. And Bunsho is one of the roshis that kind of reached enlightenment. And so some of that practice was copying their pieces and just doing it over and over. And some of it, you're looking at the form, but it's also, as I talk about a lot, is like posture and breath in the process of making it. And so I feel like as I'm doing that, as I'm trying to emulate that form, I feel really connected to that deeper practice. And there's just a lot of, I think, really beautiful parts of Japanese ceramic traditions, especially through the folk art movement, that was less about any individual artists being kind of celebrated, but more of just trying to find the beauty in everyday objects that have to be used. And even now, when I was there just a couple of weeks ago, I really felt it. Like every presentation of a meal, like the placement, the sizing, the shapes of all the dishes that you're being presented with seems very thought out, and there's kind of a harmony and balance to it. And it wasn't, about the brand name of the ceramics. It was really just, again, finding kind of that simple elegance in everyday. So I think those are some of the ways, and I know I still have a lot more to learn. I'd love to delve more into the Vietnamese ceramic tradition as well. I just recently got a book about it, and I'm hoping to travel to Vietnam again soon. It's been a while since I've been there, and just to learn more, because I think, again, it's also like there's kind of that spectrum of like really refined high art considered, and then just the everyday ceramics that everyone uses and touches and utilizes all the time. And that's kind of that end of the spectrum is something I'm really interested in. I think more and more I've really felt drawn to exploring that. This past summer, I did an intensive at Haystack School of Art, and the class was on around foraging clay. So how to actually find clay or how to find rocks. And so we brought pieces of rocks from our local area and we ground them up and made test glazes with them. And I took some rocks from a local, like a Zen garden that's next to my ceramic studio in Torrance. And yeah, so and I think something I really took from that course is like, a lot of what we do is trying to shape the clay, but there's also this really wonderful thing if you can actually let the quality of the clay speak for itself. So like how can you actually expose some of the rough texture of it? Like how can it feel like it's still the clay rather than just this very polished or refined piece? Both through, how we're trimming it, how we're glazing it. And I thought that was really beautiful. And I think I also felt that a lot when I was in Japan with their atmospheric firing. They do these huge wood fire kiln firings once a year. And so you're making pieces and then it just is this one shot. And it's the atmospheric firing, the wood firing is like, you don't know how it's going to turn out, even if you've been doing it for years and years. And there's something really beautiful about that serendipity and like kind of letting go of control. And it's back to the earth and to the elements of fire and earth. And it's kind of the amalgamation of both. And that's kind of what you end up with. So I think, I think clay is really important. When I started off, it was mostly just using commercial kind of stoneware, porcelain. But I would love to explore more of being able to forage my own clay and then eventually get to mixing my own glazes and being able to incorporate some of more native materials into that.